Wave it out. Navy out to the 25-yard line. Clearly Matt Hasselbeck is excited, pounding on the desk because he gets to watch this quarterback run the nation's #1 rushing attack. Malcolm Perry makes just his 11th start at quarterback in his 31st career game.
Yeah, and he's started more games at slot back than he has at quarterback. But this year, he is the unquestioned quarterback of this team. He's really stepped up as a vocal leader, but his play on the field is just so impressive. Blazing speed from this guy at the quarterback position.
Already a career high in passing yards through just 2 games, because this is a little bit more of a wide open Ivan Jasper offense. Already significantly more passing than we're used to seeing. But this is what we're used to seeing aplenty. Keone Cordell Makekau on the first carry of the game is going to take it all the way into Memphis territory. The triple option strikes early.
They cut that back the opposite direction. You think they're going to go triple option left, and all of a sudden, no, back to the right, wide open, nothing but grass for him.
And you said it, Pat, 41 yards to the right, but the 2 guys that you got to key on, Malcolm Perry and Nelson Smith, both went left. So you got to imagine all week they're saying you got to key 10, you got to key 43. I'm sure they didn't say, hey, watch out for 28 going all the way right.
Coach Fuller, going back to his days at Marshall, the defensive coordinator, has not given up a 100-yard rusher in 13 games.
Fumble on the exchange. It looks to stick with Navy, and it was Nelson Smith, the fullback, closest man to it, to recover.
16 games, that's on me, but a lot of turnovers in the past 2 meetings for these 2 teams. A little bit ugly start there in the quarterback center exchange.
Pat makes a good point. The winner of the turnover battle the last 2 years in those tight games has won the game. The pitch, Makekau, and he is run out of bounds by Dre Thomas after a 4-yard gain. Nelson Smith, you mentioned him already, big key for the Navy offense.
Big key and a tough start for Navy. They had the fumbled exchange on the snap. Center Ford Higgins lost his helmet, so the backup player had to come in. The backup center had to come in. Now you got a 3rd down.
Throw to the outside, and it's complete. Caught by Michael Cooper, their go-to wide receiver, for 8 yards to move the chains.
That is a little bit different thing this year about the triple option and Malcolm Barrett. They wanted to empower him, say, you're our quarterback. Letting him throw a little bit has become something that they've become a weapon with.
That was a really nice outside-in read, Pat. Basically, both receivers are running outs, but you got to start with the outside guy. If your eyes take the defenders there, you go to the inside guy, but good throw on time.
There's Smith pounding his way inside the 20, picks up about 3, running into Tim Hart. One of our impact players is Nelson Smith. The fullback is our offense. That's what Ken Niumatalolo said.
Yeah, Coach Niumatalolo made an emphasis in our call with him that Nelson is the guy that goes as we go. Every single play, he has to be a threat or nothing else works, and he has been thus far this season.
And he really is the most obvious impact player that we've had all season. He is who we are. You talk about triple option. The guy you got to stop first is the fullback.
He's out blocking this time. Malcolm Perry keeps. Shifty maneuvering around a defender to set up 1st down and goal.
Little keeper there.
And we mentioned triple option. The guy you got to stop first is the fullback, but second is the quarterback, Malcolm Perry. No one makes him pitch the ball, so he keeps it, and he is shifty. We mentioned his speed, but he's also got a little wiggle to him. Tough to bring down.
14 yards on that play. 70 yards in just 6 plays for the Navy offense.
2nd best red zone offense in the country. They can pick up the short yards if they need it. It doesn't need to be wide open for them.
9 of 10, all 9 scores are rushing touchdowns. Here is Smith. Excellent job spilling outside by the Memphis defense, led by T.J. Carter. Got a little help that time from Sanchez Blake, the safety. And it sets up 2nd down and goal. Little misdirection again that time. Taj Malloy going to the outside, trying to power to the goal line, and it looks like he's just short. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the doorstep.
Really nice play design. The formation is very heavy left. The whole formation is left. Misdirection going right. We got a pulling tackle. 3rd down, it's about to get loud in here.
Quarterback sneak. Malcolm Perry trying to punch it in. Waiting for a signal from the officials. Initial indication is short. And it's going to be 4th down and inches to try to score the opening touchdown. Just a sea of humanity.
That looked like old school 1905 football right there. Is there any doubt that Navy's going to go for this? They're 5 of 6 on 4th down this season. They're going to use the play clock, and I think they're going to call a timeout.
Indeed, that's the case. They'll think things over. Big play early in this game. On the other side, 5 minutes in, Navy inches away. This is good when you come to Memphis, whether it's chicken, barbecue, whatever it is. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN, and you're watching some really good stuff being done outside Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. Gus's Fried Chicken last night. We had a great time. Appreciate the hospitality as always down here in the South. And Ken Niumatalolo trying to get set up for a 4th down and inches here.
Yeah, he let the play clock run down, and he walked down there. I think he wanted to see for himself just how far he had to go, and it looks like he's got about 5 or 6 inches to get in this goal line.
Will they sneak it again? Indeed they will, and Malcolm Perry is in for a Navy touchdown.
What a start for the Navy midshipmen. Right down the field, they saw a little controversy there, 4th and goal on the half-inch yard line, and they toughened up, bowed their back, and their stud, Malcolm Perry, punches it in close.
And you kind of knew exactly what they were going to do. Pat, check out this 2-point conversion formation. What do you think?
I love a little muddle huddle. Maybe the gate. I'm on both sides.
Love the gate.
Just a setup.
Yeah, but they're checking for later.
Yep.
You never know what you have there. These Navy midshipmen are a smart bunch.
Bijan Nichols on the extra point attempt, the freshman. And he remains perfect on points after on the season. 13 of 13. Let's take a look back at our Enterprise Drive recap. 10 plays, 75 yards. 9 of those plays were run plays.
Yeah, the first play, it came out hot. You thought it was triple option to the left. No, counter back to the right for 41 yards to start this thing off hot.
And my favorite play of the drive was the 3rd and 6. He threw the ball outside in. Malcolm Perry showing that he can do it as a runner and a thrower. What a start for Navy. They dodged a bullet with the fumbled exchange.
That's going to happen. You know, sometimes Thursday night football, primetime television, 2 undefeated teams, sometimes you're going to get a little quick out on them.
Well, and what I was trying to say earlier is that Ford Higgins, the leader of that offensive line, the center, lost his helmet. So if you lose your helmet, you got to come out for a play. So then the backup center, Eric Cal, chem major, by the way, he goes in for the next play. And I'll just say, as a quarterback, when you get that backup center without a chance to get some practice snaps in, it's a little different.
But they handled it, trotted down the field. Now what can the Memphis Tigers do, Adam?
Get set for a J.R. Osborne kick. Combined 4 points deciding the last 2 meetings between Memphis and Navy.
Big ball.
And a touchback, so Brady White will come out. Mike Norvell said he's one of the smartest quarterbacks I've ever been around. Was originally at Arizona State, recruited by Mike Norvell when he was an assistant. Had his bachelor's in business from Arizona State. Graduated from Memphis this past August with a master's in sports commerce. Now working on a doctorate in liberal studies. They have full trust in the intelligence and ability of Brady White.
Well, they sure do have full trust in him. Back at Arizona State, he was babysitting Coach Norvell's daughter. So I said, Coach, if you trust him with your daughter, I'm sure you check him with, I'm sure you trust him with run checks at the line of scrimmage.
A little higher stakes than the other one of those two.
No doubt about that.
We'll start this drive from the 25. And first down, this is Kenneth Gainwell breaking free. Stays on his feet. What a stop for the Tigers.
Kenneth Gainwell, redshirt freshman, has been explosive for the Memphis Tigers. Matt said it in the open. #1 rusher in the country, I believe. This is
in the conference,
in the
Pat,
conference.
in the conference.
That is absolutely explosion. He gets through the line, he takes off, and at the end, he gives the extra effort. He flies 9 feet. Oh, wow, that's a close one.
I think
Very
it's a
close.
touchdown.
All you have to do is break the plane.
Yep.
I
It
think
looked
he's
like he
got
had
it.
possession in that left hand,
Yep.
and then the ground caused the fumble, but he had already broken the plane as a runner, so that should be confirmed as a touchdown. So Navy marches down the field 75 yards in 5 minutes. Kenneth Gainwell goes 75 yards in 12 seconds. And Riley Patterson ties this game 7-up. What a start on both sides. These are two excellent offensive teams in the early part of the season, and Matt Hasselbeck said it. They do it in different ways. The churning drive of Navy, the explosiveness of Memphis. 7-up. Yeah,
Great job. Great job.
copy that.
I'll just add.
Three years as the Navy quarterback, Roger Staubach, 1963 Heisman Trophy winner for Navy QB. Kenneth Gainwell, big run to get this game tied up.
Roger Staubach, Joe Bellino. Some great tradition here at the Naval Academy when it comes to the football program.
One of the oldest college football programs in America, going back to the 1870s.
Hey, Kenneth Gainwell, they got a guy. He is good.
Leading rusher in the American Conference in the early part of the season. And that 75-yard run, a career long. He's had 3 70-plus yard runs in his career.
Well, he's the best player on the field when he's on the field, but check out the block by the left tackle. Easy. He makes it look easy as he gets the reach block, and that's the key block that gives Kenneth Gainwell the cutback, and he's just running to daylight. What a dynamic runner. He's a star.
Coach Norvell said one of the hardest decisions he's ever had to make as a coach was deciding to redshirt him last year after only playing 4 games because of how good he looked. Guy is a stud. 10 plays, 75 yards. 1 play, 75 yards. Doesn't matter how you get it, just as long as you get it, man.
You know what they say, styles make fights. We've got a couple of different styles tonight.
And an interesting formation.
And that style, though, will affect the defense of each team.
Yeah. Malcolm Perry is looking to throw. Still looking. And will launch it away. Last year, when Malcolm Perry was kind of in a revolving door of a couple of different quarterbacks, he ended up throwing the ball 25 times. He's thrown the ball 18 times already through 2 games this year, already a career high in passing yards. Ivan Jasper, the 12th year offensive coordinator for Navy, and Ken Niumatalolo, the head coach who's been here for 13 years, said they wanted to open up the passing a little bit more this year to keep defenses honest. Is this a Navy flag? They're one of the least penalized teams in the country over the last several years. 39 yards per game. That's it. That's top 15 in the country so far in fewest penalty yards per game.
And very rare to see a false start penalty called on the center.
We've already seen 2 centers in this game. Ford Higgins is the team captain. Eric Cowell is a senior backup. On the move once again. Looking for a hole. Another big chunk run. Malcolm Perry out across the 45.
It's just so hard to know where that ball is. I was about certain Nelson had that ball. No, Malcolm Perry pulls it out and gives it to himself. An incredible read on the end man on the line of scrimmage, which is what he's looking for. Keeps that thing, and he has elite athleticism to get the ball down the field.
Emil, end man on line. That's something you guys learned a lot about this week.
Yeah, that's an offensive line term typically, but in this read option, ride, read, triple option offense, that's the key word for Malcolm Perry and the quarterbacks for this Navy offense.
He's reading the emo, and he has to make these decisions in such impetuous fashion. Everything has to happen so quick, and that's why Malcolm Perry, being empowered as the starter, has got a chance to work in the offseason. Big word there, by the way.
Impetuous, solid, strong.
Did a lot of good ones.
Well read.
I'll be impressed when you can spell it.
They'd be hitting a bell on me if it was a spelling bee in ESPN, but I can say the hell out of it.
Perry trying to spin away and is unable to do so. Austin Hall, who had the big play a couple of years ago, the game-sealing interception, gets a TFL.
And this is really good defense by Memphis. We asked Coach Adam Fuller, the defensive coordinator, how did you prepare for this game? He said, you know what we did? We took our defensive backs, our best athletes, guys that are maybe not going to play in this game, and we had them play quarterback. We had them play slot back. We needed to get speed and athleticism on the field for our scout team to duplicate this.
Seems like it's paying off here on that second down, 3rd and long.
Reversing it back the other way to Chance Warren. Oh, and an open field tackle in space. Excellent job out on the perimeter for Memphis's defense by Sanchez Blake, the safety.
Just knifing through there. A little bit of trickery, bringing it back the opposite direction. They had success with that on the first drive, and just an absolutely incredible open field tackle by Sanchez.
We got a punt from midfield here, Pat.
Can really pin them deep. Now, granted, the last time they had the ball, they ran 75 yards on the first play.
Owen White, the senior from Portland, 3rd-year punter, 29th career game. Michael Pfeiffer is the long snapper. Trying to pin it. Into the end zone it goes. Net punt of 32. It'll be Memphis football on the other side. Some explosiveness early. Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, number 5 Ohio State and Nebraska, the backdrop for College Game Day on ESPN. Saturday Night Football at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. Kenneth Gainwell going right back to the ground, and in 2 carries, he has 84 yards.
It's a really rough start for Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, really. His average, by the way, you said it, Pat, he is the leading rusher in the American, 102 per game.
I think we're hammering the over today, although he loses some there.
Excellent penetration. Nizer Cromartie got into the backfield along with Tama Tuateli, the freshman linebacker.
And guys, the amazing thing about Gainwell is he's not even the real starter. Patrick Taylor, the starter, is out with an injury, and that's why Gainwell is the starting running back.
3rd consecutive game that Taylor is out dealing with a left foot injury. Rushed for 1,100 yards last year. First toss for Brady White. Man down the sideline. Incomplete.
You know what was interesting about that ball by Brady White? He threw that thing deep. What they talked yesterday to us was they love the back shoulder ball. They love teaching that here in Memphis. That one was a little bit over the top.
Looking for Kadarian Jones that time.
Yeah, and he had him open. It was a double move. It's a great play call. Kadarian Jones is wide open, and Brady White decides to, put too much air on the ball and throw it out of bounds. That was definitely a missed opportunity.
First throw of the game for the kid.
So now Adam Williams, redshirt sophomore from Lebanon, Tennessee, delivers.
He was the American Conference Punter of the Week last week because he hits big balls. Flag down, probably coming back.
Back at the 31-yard line. 48-yard kick. 9-yard return. Mike Roach is our lead official tonight.
Great name. Mike Roach? Mike Roach is his name? The ref?
Yeah.
It's a really good name. Our Week 4 Monday Night Football game is an AFC North matchup between the Bengals of Cincinnati and the Steelers of Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. It's the 100th meeting between these two teams. Pittsburgh has won the last 8 meetings. Tune in at 8 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 p.m. American Standard Time.
Well, that's going to be hard to follow, Pat, but Sunday NFL Countdown is on at 10 a.m. Kickoff Week 4. I'll be there, and guess what we're going to talk about, Pat? Little Gardner Minshew mania. We're going to get a little help from Napoleon Dynamite character. You might know him, Uncle Rico. Should be a good time.
I get to see Minshew on Sunday. We've got him on ESPN Radio against the Broncos going on the road. Nelson Smith across the 20-yard line. By the way, I know you guys can't see into our booth, but Pat read his card there about Monday Night Football, and then Matt, to prepare, you like spread the legs. You kind of like you locked in the base to get some oomph into that.
Bend the knees, not the back.
Smart moves.
Coaching point.
Little shotgun look that time. Going back to Nelson Smith. He's got the first down at the 25, Molly.
Well, Adam, after Navy's last drive, Kenny Amatololo went to the sideline. The first thing he did was go to his center, Ford Higgins, and ask about that false start penalty. He said, that is not who we are. Higgins said he had trouble with Memphis's pre-snap motion, so their focus is on discipline here, Adam.
Great find down on the field, Molly. Great view on that.
And defensive coordinator Adam Fuller, he will do some shifting and stemming at the line of scrimmage. Makes it tough on those offensive linemen to stay still.
Malcolm Perry, good late pitch to Taj Malloy, and he bursts for a first down across the 35.
What did he say the triple option was like yesterday, Coach Jasper?
He said it was like Novocaine.
Might take a little time, but it always works. It seems like right now they're really finding a groove. A little bit of a late pitch, but pick up the first down, move the chains, and keep sustaining drives.
That was a little Remember the Titans reference there, Pat, in case you didn't know.
Strong side.
Left side.
Strong side.
Left side.
And I'm the other tight end who's like, what are these guys doing? Another late pitch from Malcolm Perry. And it leads to another good gain for Makekau with a big run on the opening series.
Coach Fuller said the Memphis defense, everything is magnified right now. Everybody has to be disciplined, because if you jump on one thing, bang, magic man Malcolm Perry pulls it out and goes the opposite direction, which is what they've been doing.
And I thought it was interesting what Adam Fuller, defensive coordinator of Memphis, did. He took tight ends and played them at tackle just to simulate the athleticism and the quickness, because this Navy offensive line, it's undersized, but it is quick.
Well, they can't be that big due to rules in the military.
Malcolm Perry under pressure, able to escape Dorcius. He'll keep it, and he's got the first down into Memphis territory. Good shiftiness that time from Malcolm Perry. To your guys' point, think about some of the great offensive lines that we've seen in college football. Clemson, Oklahoma's a Joe Moore Award semifinalist a year ago. They've won the award. Wisconsin always has some big uglies in the NFL. Memphis and Navy, little lower weights, but Navy, for a full running team, more often than not, just 284 average weight on the offensive line.
Well, and to Pat's point, you know, what these guys are asked to do at the Naval Academy, these guys got to be able to tread water for like an hour.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the reason those weights are down. Right now, the concern, though, is with Malcolm Perry, the junior from Clarksville, Tennessee, the excellent quarterback. He's down.
His dad said, slide, don't get hurt.
Get yards, get out of bounds, don't get hurt.
Olsen's next one up.
From Oklahoma.
He's taking snaps right now.
Yep. Number 6 is the backup QB. He's run the triple option in his high school career. But Perry seems to be up. Okay. Did they use another timeout, or was that a TV timeout?
Injury timeout?
Gotcha. Malcolm Perry on the last play. Navy's quarterback was down momentarily. And took quite the shot right at the end of the play. Perry was back up on his feet during that timeout, but for the time being, he is out on the sidelines. There's his mom Bonnie on the right. So Perry Olsen is the freshman quarterback. The backup is appearing in a third game in his career. He ran the spread at Southmore High School in Oklahoma, but transferred to Yukon High School where he ran this triple option. Here he is at the controls, and he'll carry it. He'll pick up a few yards, 4 exactly on the play, 5, beg your pardon, and it's second down. So here is Perry Olsen. He said when they transitioned schools and he learned the triple option, he said that was like a foreign language to me, like bringing back a dinosaur. He's a really good backup to have. He was in for a play, and now Malcolm Perry, good to see for Navy, is back out.
I would have been interested to see there how much work he gets on the timing, because this is all a rhythm thing as starting quarterback. Picked up some yards from Malcolm Perry to get back out here. Take a little breath. Maybe his mom will ease the tension a little bit. And bang, they're springing one now.
Another big run for Makekau. He's already had a couple tonight. Works his way into the Memphis red zone at the 18.
This offense just wears you down, wears you down, wears you down, and they're starting to pop off right now, Matt.
And they're one guy away. That's 2 times now where if the wide receiver was able to secure his block on the cornerback, instead of a big gain, that's going for a touchdown.
25 on that play, nearly 20 per carry for Keone Cordell Makekau. Back to the middle, Nelson Smith, the fullback, burrowing ahead for about 3.
And a run like that to Nelson Smith, the fullback, just a few yards, it might not seem like that was successful, but that was incredibly successful. That is the key to this entire offense. Memphis's defense has to honor that so that the rest of the triple option works.
And they're happy taking 3, 4 yards on each run play, it seems like, staying on schedule.
Got to keep them honest with it.
Ooh, Perry in traffic, got knocked down. Excellent penetration up front. Jaleel Clemens, true freshman from Starkville, Mississippi, has had a couple of good hits on Perry early.
Well, if you can get penetration, that's the key to disrupting these outside runs. Nice get off there by Jaleel Clemens. Big third down in the red zone here for the Memphis D.
Perry to throw, looking for the end zone. Chance Warren. What a catch, what a throw. And Navy takes the lead.
Drops it in a bucket, Matt.
What? You said it, Adam. What a catch, what a throw. There is no defense for the perfect throw. This is good coverage. It's a naked bootleg. He pulls up. That ball drops right in the bucket. It lands like a butterfly with sore feet. That is just an incredible throw for a quarterback who's primarily a runner.
I'll tell you what, Navy is walking in Memphis tonight. Malcolm Perry had pressure in his face. He got banged up earlier in the drive. Has the poise to just throw the rock right where it needed to be. 44 seconds in the first quarter left. 13-7 for the midshipmen. Will it be 14? Kid's got a huge leg.
Oh, off the upright. First time in his career he's missed a point after.
I feel like that's my fault. I complimented him. Sometimes you sit back a little bit as a kicker. When you have a big leg, it's not always easy to control. Sits back on it, swipes through outside in just like a golf shot and pushes it right off the upright. 13-7. That point, I think, is going to matter down the road here.
It has mattered a lot the last 2 meetings. Chance Warren gets his first career touchdown reception. Navy's got the lead, Molly.
Yeah, Adam, with that touchdown pass, all of Navy's players on the sideline looked absolutely shocked. They looked up and saw the replay and started yelling, and they were chanting over and over again, he can throw, he can throw. And you know what, Adam? We're seeing that he can.
We talked about it. This has been a little bit of a change. Not to kind of overblow it. It's not this isn't your grandfather's Navy, nothing like that. Just a little bit of an addition of a passing game, a little bit more wide open. They did a good job of adding Billy Ray Stutzman, former Hawaii wide receiver, comes over and is assistant, and adds some kind of run and shoot West Coast offense concepts to this triple option.
For sure. You say we don't want to overstate it, but it's been the key to the night tonight. 3rd and 6 conversion, another third down in the red zone. not only a conversion, but just drops an incredible dime of a throw, as accurate of a throw as I've ever seen.
You gotta remember, Navy doesn't have all the time that all the other teams have. These kids are focusing on protecting our country at some point. So to add these little wrinkles, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of practice, and it's paying off here early for Malcolm Perry, Coach Niumata Tololo, and the Navy midshipmen.
Antonio Gibson on the return. Cut down across the 20-yard line. A little bit more on Malcolm Perry. He made his college football debut in 2016 in Navy's opener. He was sitting in the stands when Tago Smith suffered a torn ACL. He hadn't dressed for the game. He was in the stands. They pulled him out. He got dressed for the second half, showed up. Next year, 3 quarterback starts. The following season, 5 quarterback starts. And Ken Niumatalolo even said, I probably played too much musical chairs at quarterback last year. Had a good one in Zach Abey, was a very deep position, mixed Perry in. And the change this year, he said, we're going to build around you, and you're going to be the focal point of the triple option offense. Good start with 2 touchdowns for Perry. And now Brady White goes back to work.
Blown up. Ball out.
That ball was loose inside the 15. The scrum for the ball. Diego Fagot, the middle linebacker, was in on it. And it looks like maybe there was a white jersey mid battling for the ball. Mike Roach comes out of the pack and says it is Memphis ball. Wow.
Well, Brian Newberry brings the blitz. Diego Fagot up the middle. We mentioned penetration. He's right in there on the exchange. Turnovers will change this game. That is an incredible play by the linebacker.
Coach Niumatalolo had to search for a new defensive coordinator. Called his friends Chip Kelly, Bill Belichick, anybody that would listen, and said, hey, Coach Newberry has a great defense that can keep them guessing. 1 quarter down here, Adam. We got a game in beautiful Memphis, Tennessee. Navy's on pace for 100 plays. What do we got? It's going to be a good one on Thursday Night Football on ESPN.
Welcome back to ESPN Thursday Night College Football, presented by Dave & Buster's. A lot going on in the opening quarter. Tom's very calm about it so far. Just celebrated his 11th birthday. Unlike most 11-year-olds, he's actually very calm at this point. 13-7 Navy on top. And just the second pass for Brady White, if he can get it off. Instead, he's chased out of the pocket, brought down by Tama Tuateli with a flag throw.
I think it's coming back even further now. 2nd and 17 is going to get backed up even more.
Boy, negative plays for Memphis since the first 75-yard run for a touchdown for Gainwell.
Oh, it's a cleanup, baby. What would you do here?
I take the penalty.
Back him up. And that is why we are not coaches.
You know, one thing about Memphis's offense that Mike Norvell was really proud of is their ball control early in the season. They held the ball for 38 minutes in their tight win in the opener against Ole Miss. Navy, as they often do, dominated time of possession in the opening frame.
Just wears down the defense, man.
Brady White slings it outside. Nothing there for Kenneth Gainwell. He gets drilled by a host of Navy defenders led by Evan Falkman.
And that is an incredible play by Falkman. He came to the Naval Academy. I think he played quarterback in high school, wide receiver, outside linebacker, free safety. He's just done it all. But great recognition on 3rd and long. Sees the bubble, high percentage pass completion, but just breaks on it. Makes a big play.
Navy has 2 returners back here.
Adam Williams getting set to punt. Garrett Wynn is one of the return men, along with Jacob Springer. It's been a decade since Navy last had a punt return touchdown. Trying to get a little space with Garrett Wynn. Good field position set up for the mids after a 15-yard return. Saturday, number 5 Ohio State. A test on the road in Lincoln. Buckeyes have won the last 4 games against Nebraska. 7:30 Eastern, ABC and the ESPN app. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. How about some of these names? Taylor Martinez going deep for some touchdowns. This is when Rex Burkhead was getting it done the last time Nebraska beat Ohio State.
I see you, Rexy. Rexy Burkhead getting it done for the Patriots now. Had a great game last week.
21-point comeback, the largest in school history, the only time Nebraska has beaten Ohio State. That was before they were Big Ten foes. Excellent field position for Navy at the 43. That ball may have come out loose for a moment. There's a penalty flag thrown. Memphis is claiming they've got it, but we're going to have to check the marker as well.
There's so much going on so fast, man. All you need is one person's hip to hit the ball and it's gone.
Let's see what they rule here.
Memphis says, hey, we got the rock.
Well, Bryce Huff was claiming that he had the football.
Ref says, give me the damn ball.
A little bit of ball security issue on both sides to start the night.
I think it was Keyshawn who said that, Pat.
That what I just said there about the ball?
Yeah.
Well, that ref said it too. He scored it.
It's a penalty against Navy either way. Mike Norvell, I think, wanted to know if Memphis recovered the ball.
And this can happen sometimes, you know, with this ride read, where you're not.
The holding penalty goes against the Mids. You saw the scramble for the ball. Bryce Huff and Nelson Smith were scrapping for it, to say the least. Mike Norvell was screaming at the ref, saying, hey, it should be Memphis football. But it was ruled Navy's.
In that particular situation, if you're the running back, sometimes you think he's pulling it. You don't even know that he's letting you have it.
And that's not really the problem on that play. On that play, it looked like Ford Higgins, the center, got blown back. There was penetration. And then as they were faking the exchange, there was contact there. The defensive line rushed the center back into the quarterback.
Norvell says, I want you guys to take a look at this recovery of the fumble.
So Mike Norvell's going to challenge this play. We'll see what the result is on the other side. Key early review. Still taking a look. Mike Roach, our lead official.
Look how small that thing is.
It is. I mean, it's quite tiny. Modern technology, brother.
I've actually looked in there. It's pretty good. Pretty high def.
Must be 10K with that size, but what happened here, Matt?
It's a great play by the nose tackle, Goodson. He just blows up the center, right into the exchange. Ball comes out. And then once that ball's on the ground, it's just a scrum. It's a free-for-all.
The ruling on the field, again, was that Navy recovered the football. It almost feels like one of those plays where whatever the call on the field was, they're going to have to stick with that because there doesn't seem to be a ton of evidence, but that's in the eye of our replay official, Peter Voss.
Peter Voss, former Berlin Thunder World Bowl champ, head coach.
The replay guy?
Yeah.
Replay official.
Very true. But I'll say I've been at the bottom of those scrums, guys, and I have had the ball, and it's been ripped from me, and they've given it to the other team. But one time, we were playing Arizona, the Arizona Cardinals. I did not have the ball. I went in there, and I came out with the ball.
Great.
So it is not a science.
I've been at the bottom of one of those piles. I did not have the ball. I did not leave the pile with the ball. I had 4 bruises there. Things get a little intense to me. I should not have been there. They are still looking at this.
And that's what's interesting to me, Pat. If they're taking this long, I wonder if they've got to look at the clock. And usually if they're looking at the clock, that means that maybe this is getting overturned.
The defense is on the field
for
Navy.
Navy's defense just took the field. So this might end up being overturned. The ruling on the field was that Navy recovered. Mike Roach has our call. The winner each of the last 2 years in this matchup has won the turnover battle. Key early giveaway.
Well, it's key in any game, right? But when you go up against a team like Navy, they're going to hold the ball for so long. You're going to get about 11, maybe 12 possessions in a game. when you're playing against the Naval Academy. And that's why 3 and outs are killers, turnovers are killers. You've got to protect that ball.
Sudden change here. Maybe take a shot if you're Memphis. Memphis coaches said if we punt 3 or 4 times, we probably lose. They steal a possession they're back because they were punting early.
And they are in kind of that shot position near midfield.
And Navy's in that bring the blitz kind of position.
Throwing outside, Kadarian Jones. Wrapped up quickly at the Navy 46, picks up 7.
Remember, Navy lives and dies with this get 6 motto. 6 3 and outs, 6 turnovers, 6 turnover on downs. They've been 3 and out here the last couple times.
Combination of those aspects, looking for 6. Brady White throwing over the middle. What a catch by Antonio Gibson. Going up top to snare it at the 23-yard line. A pickup of 23.
It is a really nice catch by Antonio Gibson. Goes up, and you don't know if you're going to get hit as a wide receiver.
Tempo.
Antonio Gibson has had a great start to this season. He's got 2 touchdowns already on the year.
Each of the last 2 games. Kylan Watkins is in the backfield. There was a midshipman in the neutral zone, so this is a free play for Watkins. They may just take that gainer inside the 10. It's 1st and goal. $16 yards on the Watkins run. Jackson Perkins was in the neutral zone. They'll take the run instead to set up 1st and goal.
And a really good block by DeMonte Coxey, their go-to receiver. It's nice to see some of these wide receivers get involved in the running game for Memphis.
White with the pocket collapsing around him, somehow staying on his feet for a bit, but then Diego Fagot, the sophomore inside linebacker, their leading tackler in the early going, gets in there to shut the play down for a loss.
Nice pressure by Navy. I didn't really love how Brady White's eyes went down so quickly. I think as a quarterback, your eyes got to be down the field and you got to feel that rush. He kind of brought his eyes down quick. Diego Fagot with the pressure.
They like to describe the defense as organized chaos, and it was just that on the last play. Navy aggressive here. Look at them bringing the 8 off the edge. Brady White loses the rock. Another turnover. You're going the other way for Navy.
It is recovered by Nizer Cromartie, and the hit from Jacob Springer got the ball out of White's hands.
Well, Brian Newberry brings another blitz, this time off the slot. Brady White doesn't see it, thinks he can outrun it. He cannot. Cromartie with the huge fumble recovery. This Navy defense has been confusing Memphis with their disguises, coming off the edge with these blitzes.
And that's why Coach Newberry came in such high regard by everybody that Coach Niumatalolo talked to. He had to make a change on the defense. He said he wanted a defense that fit his offense. And Newberry has brought this organized chaos. You don't know where they're coming from. It obviously confused the protection there for Brady White. Turnover after turnover. Incredible start for this Navy defense.
Perry keeps it, looking to throw. Deep shot. Got a man, and it's caught! What a play by Ryan Mitchell, lunging out to snare it. Just the 2nd catch of his season.
I am so impressed with Malcolm Perry, the thrower, tonight. He has been dropping dimes, accurate, on time. These are not easy throws, especially when you don't get in a rhythm. It's run, pass. That's a 48-yarder, perfectly executed.
And now he'll keep it on the run inside the 25.
That could be demoralizing. You're preparing all week for the triple option. You had a bye week, so a week and a half, and then all of a sudden you have no idea. Malcolm Perry has become a precision passer here, which opens everything up for that offense.
He's got 3 touchdown passes this year. Navy had 5 total touchdown passes all of last season.
Okay, I'll watch the fullback. Okay, I'll watch the quarterback. Okay, I'll watch the pitch. What you won't watch for is a deep ball down the middle. Nice seam shot.
Perry holding on as long as he can, and he turns it into a gain inside the 20. It'll set up 3rd down and short coming up.
It's that athleticism that really set him apart, I think, at quarterback. The ability to get the edge there, just that elite speed when it looked like it was going to be a stop for nothing. Picks up some yards, now it's 2nd and short.
3rd and short.
You heard me. It's on me. We are 17 stories above the sky.
Pat, clean up your nose, a little bleeding
We're
there.
going to get altitude sickness up here.
Perry cuts it up. Looked like the forward progress got him past the sticks. And that should be enough for the 1st down. J.J. Russell did what he could, but they'll spot him at the 16 and a fresh set of downs.
And I've just been impressed with the discernment, the decision-making in a quick amount of time. Malcolm Perry's doing it all. When do I pitch it? When do I give it to the fullback? When do I throw it? Where do I go?
A lot of plays have been made outside. They're stopping Nelson Smith, but fatigue can catch you on the defense trying to get to the outside.
15 minutes already of possession for Navy, trying to wear down Memphis's front. There goes Smith, wrapped up quickly by J.J. Russell, and about 2 yards on the run.
Coach Newberry talked about how if their defense, Navy's defense, can get off the field, it can be demoralizing for the Memphis defense because they're just having to take this beating. And they've been doing that 3 and out with a turnover. This Memphis defense has been on the field a lot, and that plays right into the hands of this Navy team.
Yeah, and Memphis's defense is bigger, probably stronger, faster, more athletic. But when you're on the field and you're not used to being on the field this long, it is tough.
Perry. Now he's going to tuck it and run, and he takes it inside the 10-yard line. Run out of bounds by Tyrez Lindsey.
I love this Malcolm Perry guy.
And that was good defense. That was good red zone defense by Memphis right there. And still, it's a gain for Navy.
Memphis has not done well in the red zone defensively in the early part of the season. 3rd down and short, and a big one coming up.
And whether you know it or not, this Navy offense is one of the best short yardage offenses and one of the best red zone offenses in the country.
Another timeout here. Coach Niumatalolo wants to take this 3rd and 1 and continue on their lead here in the 2nd quarter. 8:28 left. We got a good one in Memphis.
That was incredible. She has a baby too, huh?
That gets me.
Yeah.
So when you go to Memphis, the one place you absolutely feel like you have to go is Gus's Fried Chicken. In particular, if Matty Hasselbeck is celebrating his 36th birthday or whatever it is.
It wasn't 36, but that was my very first fried chicken birthday cake.
Yes, by the way, thanks so much to DeMarco, Jennifer, everybody at Gus's Fried Chicken, the original here in Memphis. Really appreciate that. Happy birthday to you, my good friend. We really appreciate everybody taking care of Matt.
Brothers don't shake hands.
Brothers got a hug, guys.
Adam, we would have got you. That's on us.
we got Mike Black in the way too.
Yeah,
Dave Freed, Jason Greenberg, our great crew up here in the booth. Joey Roberts.
Okay.
That chicken was legit, and so was this 3rd and short.
Nice transition, McAfee. Nelson Smith is the fullback again. Toss play, running left, trying to get to the edge. And Tim Hart able to make the stop on C.J. Williams inside the 5.
When they take this ball outside the hash, it's 40 to 50-yard sprints for this defense every single time. They have to be fatigued at this point, and this is when Navy is at its best. Now we're at another red zone, which Navy has been thriving on all year.
Going right up the gut. Malcolm Perry trying to find a seam, and he works his way down to the 1-yard line.
Well, they fake to the fullback, Nelson Smith, and then he just follows him. Nelson Smith gets the fake and then becomes the lead blocker right up the gut.
Coach Jasper broke down the triple option. He never told us about that.
That would be the quadruple option.
What happens if you had another one? Is that
that's above my level of like math tonight?
Quintuple option, no? Memphis Tiger down on the field. Looks like J.J. Russell. 2nd and goal from the edge of the 1 coming up for Navy. This season, Taco Bell celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these by awarding the Live Moss Student Section of the Year. Memphis Tigers Student Section is on the national watch list. ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete or get the committee's attention by using hashtag Live Moss Student Section Contest.
Looked like a 60-year-old man was wearing a mask there. I'm not sure he's in the student section, but they are alive here.
Hey, listen, Matt Hasselbeck is a professor. He has students of all ages.
It could be a graduate
creeds.
student. Graduate students are allowed in the student section, guys. Oh, that's a cool-looking football.
Second down and goal coming up. Trying to push that pile towards the goal line. Malcolm Perry looked like he got stacked up. Memphis' front able to come through again. Third down and goal.
I mean, this is just classic football, man on man. What do you got? We need a yard. Who's going to win? And this particular time, Memphis comes up with a big-time stop. It's almost like that injury is not good, obviously, but it gave them a little time to breathe here after getting worn out this first quarter and a half.
Well, goal line defense is like a fist fight in a phone booth. I would expect another quarterback sneak right here.
Perry's gonna keep it, try to find that seam. Still waiting for a signal. There it is. Touchdown, Malcolm Perry. He's got 3 of them tonight, 2 on the ground.
And it really was not a quarterback sneak as much it was looking like triple option. He's going to lead it up there, and the fullback's going to help push the pile.
He saw a hole, though, and just took that thing.
And then behind him, Isaac Ruas was the fullback. Kind of just put a shoulder into Malcolm to help him out a little bit.
And Malcolm Perry, we heard it, he loves having offensive coordinator Ivan Jasper on the sideline.
Keeps him calm, keeps him motivated, keep him focused. He's having a big-time night here.
Good job to come back for Bijan Nichols, true freshman out of Heath, Texas. Puts Navy up 20-7. You talked about the history of Navy football, Matt. You thought this very interesting. Joe Bellino, the Heisman Trophy winner in 1960.
Yeah, we talked about Roger Staubach, Joe Bellino, Winchester, Massachusetts native. I've heard Bill Belichick talk about the people that he looked up to. The number 27 will be honored next week, next game at Navy. We talk about the Roger Staubachs, the Joe Bellinos, the tradition, the history, what it means to be someone who attends the Naval Academy, but not only that, play football at the Naval Academy. Really, really incredible.
It takes a special person. It really does. And it's been fun this week to learn that the greatest coach in football history, Bill Belichick, was basically born and raised in this Navy football program. His dad, Steve, coached here for 40 years. It's like his home. And it's a special place. And there's some people in the desert that thought they were going to potentially lose by about 10 and a half. They've come out here very hot.
I didn't know you could lose by a half a point. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
Learn something new every day.
Sports in 2019 are all wild.
And these long drives by Navy's offense, I'll tell you, as an offensive player for Memphis, you get out of rhythm. Like you haven't been on the field much tonight. It's a very awkward feeling.
Gabriel Rogers looking for a seam. There he goes. Made the kicker miss. They do it as well as anybody in the country. Kick return touchdown, 99 yards.
Coach Norvell said we pride ourselves on being a special teams university. 4 out of the last 5 years, they've had the special teams player of the year of the conference at Memphis. An incredible play design by Coach Lembo, set up the blocks, hit the sideline, and boom! All of a sudden we got a game because of the special teams. Gabriel Rogers showed burst, showed grit, made the kicker miss, which I don't love, but you can't score on offense. You need the special teams and defense to pick you up, and that's what Gabriel Rogers and the Memphis Tigers kickoff return team did right there.
There was some question. Who's going to replace Tony Pollard, who had 7, an NCAA record 7 kick return touchdowns in his Memphis career, now with the Dallas Cowboys doing great work. How about Gabriel Rogers in 13 seconds, taking it to the house?
Catches the ball on the 1, could have taken an easy way out with a fair catch at 25. They open up a massive lane for him. He sidesteps the kicker, and all of a sudden we got a 1-score game in Memphis, Tennessee because of special teams here at Memphis.
What do we got down? Special for Memphis for quite some time. On ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Dave & Buster's. It gets them within a score after the Gabriel Rogers 99-yard kick return touchdown. Past the halfway point of the second quarter. Pat McAfee, hit me with a little bit of love for the special teams.
This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate, for being an incredible target for kickers and for the donations to the incredible scholarship funds.
Did you guys use the logos and things like that for like line it up at all?
1,000%.
Interesting.
I wasn't the greatest kicker, so I'm not sure everybody should be doing that. But I was trying to land the ball in the hands at all times.
That's like me giving advice on how to dunk a basketball.
Exactly. Well, I don't think it's that bad.
Malcolm Perry back. 3 touchdowns working tonight already in the first half. 2 on the ground, 1 through the air.
And with that kickoff return, it's great for Memphis, but that means this defense is right back out there.
Good point.
Isaac Ruas is still in there at fullback as Chance Warren, who had his first career touchdown reception tonight, makes that grab. It's a little bit of a shove for Joey Bryant after a short gain.
And it's a short gain. It's just 3 yards. But what it does is Memphis is trying to pack in there, pack in that box. They got about 10 guys right around the ball. And so Navy's saying, hey, we got one-on-one coverage out there. We'll throw it out to our wide receiver and just make him do it. It's just like a run.
And so far, Malcolm Perry is 4 of 5 passing the ball. In fact, you said this to me earlier, Matt. Would you have thought that at this point of the game, Brady White would have thrown it less than Malcolm Perry? He's only got 4 passes. Back to Ruas, who right now is in there at fullback for more. We go down to Molly McGrath.
Well, Adam, Navy's Nelson Smith suffered a helmet-to-helmet hit on their last drive. On the sideline, he was undergoing concussion tests. Medical training staff took his helmet away and said, "You are out." He was very upset and argued with them, but he currently does not have his helmet, Adam.
Understandable, and the right thing to do to take him out of the game for this Navy staff, but that is a huge loss. Fullback is our offense. He's one of the best hole hitters in a downhill running attack that Navy has seen in a while.
He is who we are, they said. So what, now what? Chuck Pagano says next man up, but that's going to be tough to
And now Malcolm Perry faked it to Ruas, kept it going towards the sticks. Looks to be a little bit short of the 35. Sanchez and Collins both there to make that stop. And now at their own 34.5, it's 4th down and short. Let's see if they go for it. Line it up fast. Malcolm Perry trying to burrow ahead. This is going to depend on the spot. Did the Memphis defense stack them up? The crowd certainly seems to think so. The Memphis bench certainly seems to think so.
And there are about 80 people on the football field right now.
And the last thing you need is a sideline warning if you're Memphis, but they'll take it. A 4th down stop and a turnover on downs.
They've been so good on that 4th and short throughout the night so far. Now in their own end, they go for it. The Memphis defense with a massive stand here.
Yeah, bodies going end over end. Now you can review this when a spot is related to a touchdown or the line to gain. This is a reviewable situation, so they will take a look.
I mean, that's going to be tough to overturn.
Yeah, agreed. And in general, line to gain spot reviews are often, they often stand. They're often either confirmed or stand. Very rarely are they overturned.
Well, referee Mike Roach will go dive into that 8x8.
You know, it's like you go up to those things that are on the water. You snap the lever and it just changes the picture. That's what it looks like right now.
Speaking of changing the picture,
Ooh.
a kickoff return to the house.
Ooh.
Now the Memphis defense gets a big-time stand on 4th and short here. It feels like there's a rejuvenation in the whole city of Memphis right now.
King of Segway, Pat McAfee, man.
Well, number 8, Xavier Collins, he goes up over the top as if he's Walter Payton, Barry Sanders jumping over on offense. But he's on defense, and he creates a space where the quarterback cannot sneak it through.
I think he stopped him with his back.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that is what happened. He goes up over the top, a lot of meat, a lot of bodies. Big boy's excited as he should be.
That was John Tate getting loud. And again, reviewing to see if they can overturn the spot. Rarely does it happen. We'll see if Memphis takes over.
that's right in Navy's wheelhouse. 4th and short, that is their play. For Memphis's defense, that has to be such a massive thing for them momentum-wise.
Well, when Mike Norvell has been head coach, he's been 89th in defense, 116th and 106th. Granted, they've only played 3 games so far, and this is their toughest test, seemingly. Granted, let's not take too much away from Ole Miss, but they're top 3 in total defense in the early part of the season.
Just like I said in weeks past, whenever they have to review a touchdown at home, you get to celebrate twice. That's kind of what just happened here in Memphis.
Remember that end of the USC-BYU game. BYU in overtime gets the pick. They celebrate. They storm the field. They had to review it. You got to storm the field again.
It's like an encore at a concert.
That's right.
Now, this offense has not been able to find rhythm because they haven't been on the field. Now they get the ball with a short field here.
Brady White's going to hand it off to Kenneth Gainwell. Not much there. The Navy front able to penetrate for no gain. Kenneth Gainwell, redshirt freshman out of Mississippi, leading rusher in the conference. Pat mentioned it, 4 games last year before Mike Norvell made the very difficult decision to redshirt him. Worked out okay. You had Tony Pollard and Darrell Henderson running all over defenses last season.
Wealth of riches back there.
Throw outside. DeMonte Coxie. That's a big play in space by Michael McMorris, sophomore from Georgia, to stop him after just 4. 3rd down and medium coming up. Navy's going to hurry up and sub here.
It's like a line change for Mighty Ducks there.
Yeah.
Everybody out, everybody in.
Excellent penetration by Jackson Perkins. Just wrapped up Gainwell, exploded the play for a loss of 7. And that may take him out of field goal range.
Well, you said it, Jackson Perkins unblocked right up the middle, and this Memphis offense has no rhythm. They've been on the field for 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Navy's been on the field offensively 4 times as long.
Wow.
They're out of rhythm. They're out of sync.
They're going into the wind here. The wind is blowing from left to right. This would be a 55-yard attempt for Memphis.
Yeah, again, that's why that play by Perkins is so huge.
Take a delay game, back it up, and get a punt.
Okay.
I think that's probably the right move here if I'm Coach Norvell. Oh, it takes a timeout. It's 4th and 12. That's right where we want to be.
It'll be a long field goal try here. Mike Norvell will talk about it. Matt Berry's going to talk about some things with the boys in the studio. What's up, buddy? Appreciate that, boys. Matt, Joey, and Jesse in 3:20 of game time. Now, Mike Norvell took the timeout. More you would think, conventional wisdom. If you're going to take the timeout, that means you're getting your kicker out there. And they're going to give Riley Patterson an opportunity. Special teams coordinator Pete Lembo said at the Liberty Bowl, we trust him from about 55 to 60. He can make it from here.
And in warm-ups, he was showcasing his big leg. Monster leg on him. I mean, this gives the ball to Navy at 37-yard line. I mean, they're showing a lot of faith in Riley. Good snap, good hold. Big time leg. No good, pulled it left. Had the distance though, what you gotta love as a kicker. Coach Norvell showed a lot of faith in Riley Patterson there. Little tap on the ground to signify the snap. Good hold, good ball flight, good trajectory. Just pulls it left a little bit, which can happen from a far distance, especially going into a wind because you're trying to swing hard. The wind can kind of make the ball eat it and hook a little bit, which I think it did late in the kick.
Pat, let me ask you a question. Fans are going to see the flags at the top of the goalposts. How much should we buy into those particular flags? How are you judging the wind when you're on the field?
Yeah, so what you're seeing on the flags is nothing compared to what it is on the field, especially in something that a stadium that's like this, a bowl. It's all over the place.
Malcolm Perry, good cut, picks up yardage to about the 40-yard line. Navy's got 3 minutes, 1 timeout. Memphis can use some timeouts if they get some stops. They've got 2 left. Memphis will get the ball to start the second half as they deferred when they won the coin toss. Nelson Smith, as Molly reported, out for the rest of this game, so Isaac Ruas is now the lead fullback, sophomore out of Pennsylvania. Toss play, Makekau. Open field tackle, submarined by Sanchez Blake.
Really nice tackle by Sanchez Blake. I mean, he's coming downhill. He's a good tackler. Big stop, 3rd down.
Here we are, 3rd and 1. 4th and 1 last time. They couldn't get any points out of it. Memphis defense is going to have to put up a big stop here again.
They did it on the last series. Makekau able to pick up the 1st down. Sanchez Blake got the stop, but not before Makekau, the junior from Hawaii, was able to push the pile past the sticks for a fresh set of downs.
Makekau taking that thing outside. Once again, this Memphis defense is having to play sideline to sideline. They've been on the field a lot, and I think that was something Coach Ken from Navy.
What's his last name?
Niamatulolo.
Very good.
You tested him, and he delivers.
There were some question marks in my brain.
Right up the gut with Ruas. Takes it into Memphis territory.
1:50 left in this first half. Navy seems very comfortable with everything that's been going on.
This is another one of their spots, right? They're comfortable with the clock moving.
That's what they love, Matt. That's why they've had it for 21 minutes thus far to Memphis' 7.
Now Perry looking to throw. Launching it for his slot back, C.J. Williams, and he was engaged with a defender out on the perimeter. A couple of penalty markers came flying in. Looked like it was Thomas Pickens, outside linebacker. And indeed, it was Pickens on the pass interference penalty. Redshirt junior from right here in Memphis.
And this is a really, really easy call for the official. Thomas Pickens, kind of an edge setter, linebacker. He gets out in space with a running back. Never turns his head. Pushes the intended receiver. Pretty simple call.
They misspotted the football. Spotted right at the 40-yard line.
Fresh set of downs here. Coming off that pass interference.
That was the first penalty against Memphis. Perry, stop and pop. Looking for Chance Warren, who went elevating in the air to try to snare it. Dude was feeling himself after the first touchdown of his career earlier tonight.
And Pat mentioned the run and shoot principles that got sprinkled into this Navy offense. That was it right there. That was June Jones. That looked like Warren Moon. He's got to bring the ball down. It's hard as a right-handed thrower. Sprinting out, rolling out to your left, throwing it on the run.
I would say that's his first real miss of the night for Malcolm Perry.
And I would agree.
We've got a couple of receivers lined up, stacked on one side. Ruas will take it up the middle, and he'll pick up about 3 on the play. Ooh, things getting a little tough. Desmond Hawkins throwing a little bit of a shove there. Engaged with a Navy player. It's a big boy, 285 pounds, celebrated his birthday yesterday. Clock winding down inside of a minute. Perry needs the 30-yard line. Trying to make men miss. Got a shot just shy of the 30. Clock continues to move down towards 40 seconds. Navy still has a timeout if they want to use it.
And Malcolm Perry's hurt. He took a shot.
Made an incredible play, though. Now we're back to 4th and very short yet again. It's like Groundhog's Day. Malcolm Perry is down.
He takes the spin move and doesn't realize, so this is a blitz by Memphis. Gives Malcolm Perry the opportunity to break free. And on this spin move, he takes a big hit, and he is not moving his arm.
Dallas Ducksworth had the first contact. Morris Joseph came in from behind to finish off the tackle.
That's a big-time shot he just took there. This is his second time being down this game. Whenever you're this triple option quarterback, though, you're going to take some shots, and Malcolm Perry is so important to this offense.
So the ball's at the 31. This would be just shy of a 50-yard field goal potentially if Navy wants to try to kick it. I'd be curious if you bring in a backup quarterback, do you still feel comfortable running the same style of 4th and 1 play? They bring in Perry Olsen for a second time tonight.
And one of the things they tell you as a starting quarterback, if you get injured and you're going to have to come out for a play, just stay down. So your backup quarterback has time to get a couple throws in, get a couple snaps in. I don't think that that's what happened in this case. Malcolm Perry, to me, looked like he took a big hit.
By the way, Navy's keeping their timeout. They'll take the 10-second runoff because you had an injured player inside of 2 minutes and a half. They want to keep the timeout in case they convert right here and maybe need the timeout for a field goal. Perry Olsen is in the game at quarterback on 4th down and short. Third time they're going for it on 4th down. The true freshman from Oklahoma trying to cut it upfield, and he's got the first down. A clutch carry for Perry.
Now coach is saying, on the ball, let's go. On the ball.
And they kept that timeout. The clock's at 15 seconds right now. They stop it to reset the chains. They spike the football to stop the clock. Second down coming up here. Spike down. Excellent job by Perry Olsen coming into a tough spot to convert.
Freshman, too. Picks up the first down. Then he has enough wherewithal to get under center and stop the clock as soon as they set the ball.
Now, they lost 10 seconds because they took the runoff, but it allows them to keep the field goal in case they want to kick, or keep the timeout, beg your pardon, in case they want to kick the field goal. So you can run the ball here if you're Navy and not be afraid of the clock. Oh, they're going to have Perry Olsen pass. He was looking to. Instead, he'll avoid losing yardage as Goodson wraps him up. Niumatalolo is next to the ref, waiting for the clock to wind down to 1, and he takes the timeout, which he saved by taking the runoff.
I really like the time management there by Coach Niumatalolo. Incredibly veteran move by the freshman Perry.
And he could have made the mistake by calling a timeout with 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And that would have meant after this, if it's a make field goal, you then would have to kick off to Memphis. So he waits till it gets under 6 seconds, under 5 seconds, does it with 1 second. So this will be the final play.
Automatic 5-second runoff on kicks.
This would be a career long for Bijan Nichols from 46. Mike Norvell is going to try to ice him at the end of the half here. You got timeouts to use, and they'll try to ice the Heath, Texas native. Our next UFC event on ESPN Plus, Saturday 2 Eastern from Copenhagen. Jack Hermanson taking on Jarrod Cannonier in the middleweight main event. Hermanson looking for a title fight if he wins. Main card in English and Spanish, ESPNplus.com. It's $5 a month. You get NFL primetime 4 times a month. You're paying $1.25. Just download it, pay for it right now. It's worth it. Here comes Bijan Nichols. This is just his second career field goal attempt. He hit a 44-yarder against Holy Cross. This would be from 46.
Hit from 53 in warm-ups, very clean. He's a freshman, which isn't normal at Navy because they got to go through plebe school, which is tough on the legs.
Right footer delivers. At the end of the half, unable to connect. Everything executed except the final play.
Sometimes you don't get through it. Sometimes you're just hoping that you can push it and you can leave the ball right a little bit. Bijan is a young kicker. He's got a big leg. He'll do well in his future, but sometimes you just leave it a little bit outside when you don't get through it. That's a beautiful ball, but it is 0 points. So we like to say that is a nightmare for the break.
34 points in the opening half of play. Memphis football to start half number 2. Mike Norvell trying to get him fired up. I'm fired up. We got Matt, Joey, and Jesse in the studio.
score game now because they haven't been able to take advantage. Risk it, no biscuit. They've been going for it on 4th down as well.
Yeah, and on the flip side for Memphis, they've only run 15 plays this entire first half. I mean, in the NFL, Andy Reid, Mike Holmgren, they've scripted out their first 15 plays. They haven't even run more than 15. They've had the ball for 7 minutes. No rhythm. They look out of sync.
Still a game.
They got a second half to fix it.
Already a kick return touchdown tonight for Gabriel Rogers. And Antonio Gibson this time trying to get loose, gets upended across the 35-yard line, and a penalty marker comes flying in late. This looks like it could be a late hit.
Kicker just made a monster tackle right there. Flip the guy like that, get your nose in there, I would not give up.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness for a late hit on the kicking tee. 15-yard penalty to the end of the run. First down. That
is only going to add to the solid field positioning that Antonio Gibson gives to the Tigers. There is J.R. Osborne, the kicker, and then the late hit right there from Austin Talbert Loving, the junior out of Bowie, Maryland. Big update for us, Molly McGrath. What's the health of the Navy players right now?
Well, Adam, before the half, Navy quarterback Malcolm Perry had medical training staff looking at his right shoulder. His head coach, Ken Niumatalolo, told me he's not worried. He's going to be fine. And that kind of physicality comes with the job. But I did get it confirmed that Nelson Smith, their fullback, is out for the rest of the game with a head injury. But Coach Niumatalolo wasn't concerned. He said, our motto, next man up. And his message to his team was simple. He said, finish.
Molly, great report. Thank you.
And Adam, as Memphis is taking the field, I asked their head coach, Mike Norvell, how are you getting your offense into a rhythm in the second half? He said, we need to eliminate negative plays. He said exactly what Matt said. We only have 15 offensive snaps. We need to possess the ball and make the most of it. And his message to Brady White, calm down, just play the game.
He's back to throw with some pressure coming. He's going to pump and fire. And incomplete down the sideline.
He's going to hate watching that on film tomorrow. Get an incredible return, another personal foul. You get great field position. He delayed, he was patient, and there was a guy wide open, Matt.
Wide open. I mean, he could have run for it, but he's got a receiver wide open. It's his go-to guy, Coatsy. That was just really, I mean, it was a terrible throw. It was just an absolutely terrible throw.
Coach Norvell said he needs to calm down. Didn't appear to be the case on that particular overthrow.
This coaching staff is very high on Brady White. He's got to start playing better football.
Well, there's no time to throw it. Excellent pressure from this Navy defense. Nizer Cromartie was one of the first man there for the 3rd Navy sack of the night. And they are unable to do anything with the excellent field position. Last time they had this few yards in a first half was 4 years ago against Auburn. They were unable to do anything with the outstanding field position near midfield to start this second half. Mike Norvell not pleased.
And on the flip side, this Navy defense has been dominant tonight.
Jacob Springer waves it out. He'll dive on top of it to save some yardage. They had some Memphis Tiger gunners back there. Take a look at tonight's game flow brought to us by Progressive. Molly just gave us the report on Malcolm Perry. He was responsible for all 3 touchdowns tonight. 2 on the ground, a great throw to Chance Warren.
Yeah, you said game flow, and he was feeling the flow. That is a perfect throw. And then goal line defense was unable to stop Malcolm Perry in this Navy offense, but big hits. I mean, Malcolm Perry, what he means to this offense, I don't think he can continue to take hits like he's taken today. See him wincing on the sideline.
I didn't like that.
He's a tough kid, but you got to find a way to keep him healthy.
He will start this second half for Navy's offense. Under that right shoulder is what Molly was telling us about. Make Cow on the carry for 3 after that pitch.
And in a weird way, when his backup came in early in the game and got a carry, got a hit, sometimes as a quarterback, just taking that first hit settles you down a little bit. So if we do see 2 quarterbacks in this game, I would have confidence knowing that Perry Olsen's already played tonight.
Let's see if he can sling it. A little bit of a low throw, incomplete for Taj Malloy.
And that looks like a much different thrower than we saw in the first half.
Right.
Malcolm Perry was lights out, feeling the flow in the first half. Right there, he looked like he was uncomfortable, maybe even wincing.
Kind of short-armed it a little bit. That's going to happen, though, whenever you take a beating, when you're such a pivotal point of the offense.
Navy's been excellent on third down, but not a lot of room for Isaac Ruas, the sophomore. He got hit hard by J.J. Russell, inside backer who's so key to the run defense for Memphis.
And what a massive 3-and-out there for this Memphis defense. They now have 2 returners back. They have good field position because their punter Adam pinned them deep. They have 2 block punts this season. Let's see if they go for it here. But that has to be a big mental boost to this Memphis defense to get a 3-and-out here to start the third quarter.
Especially against a Navy offense that doesn't give the ball up. 3-and-outs are just like a turnover, they said.
You guys said it, 2 block punts already, 1 for a touchdown for Memphis from Keith Brown. Clean for Owen White to deliver. Gonna send it to the sideline. An excellent field position coming up again for the Memphis Tigers. We'll step aside. One of the cities that made Elvis famous, Memphis, Tennessee.
Thank you very much.
I asked Pat McAfee if he wanted to have this read as Elvis. He opted not to, so you're watching the American Conference on ESPN. From Memphis, Tennessee. Good game so far tonight. Conference opener for the Tigers. Second American Conference game for Navy this season. Divisional rivals. 1-score game early second half if you're just clicking over. Second series for Memphis here in the second half with more great field positioning. This from midfield. You know, Brady White likes that throw to Kadarian Jones. Works his way out across the 40. He's got the first down. Molly McGrath.
Adam, after Memphis' first drive of the half, Mike Norvell was visibly frustrated when speaking with Brady White. He said, "What just happened? I told you to calm down. You are not calm. Stop beating yourself. You need to take advantage of every single opportunity and chip away."
Got a nice easy throw that time outside.
Just trying to get completions. You mentioned the good field position.
I think we're getting another one on the center here, man.
False start. Offense, number 56. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Dylan Parham got tagged with that penalty. When we're done here, Memphis, by the way, Sports Center with Kenny Mayne, Michael Eaves. Our guys will have Eagles-Packers post-game reactions with Damian Woody's turning point of tonight's contest. Who's the person that unlocked Justin Fields' potential at Ohio State and up to the minute AL wildcard standing? Sports Center when we're done. Cleveland, Oakland, Tampa Bay battling for the AL wildcard slots and for home field in the AL wildcard game exclusively here on ESPN next Wednesday. There goes Kenneth Gainwell. He's already busted a couple of big ones, including a 75-yard touchdown tonight. He'll pick up 16 on that run before Tuatelli drive him down.
And you see the Navy defensive line shifting and stemming, and then you see Brady White and Dustin Woodard communicating at the line of scrimmage, letting the wide receivers know they're communicating in the run game. That is working. The pass game has not been working.
You see that movement from Navy. Ken Niumatalolo said he studied Alex Grinch when he was the DC at Washington State. On the edge, working left, Kenneth Gainwell, gang tackled shy of the 20. Alex Grinch was at Washington State a couple of years ago, then went to Ohio State, now he's at Oklahoma. That was key. He had an undersized defensive line. Hercules Mata'afa was a key on that line. He said that's what made their smaller but speedier line good. Ken Niumatalolo wanted to take those elements and add it to this line for Navy's defense.
And I got to imagine it's got to be so difficult as a head coach to make staff changes, but Navy made the staff changes on defense, and they've been playing very great, excellent football tonight.
I've got to help it. I'm going to call Bill Belichick and ask him.
Throw out to the side. It is caught by Jones inside the 10. 13 more yards, and the Tigers are driving first and goal.
It seems like this is a smart move by Norvell to get Brady White some easy completions to get him a little bit of confidence. He's been off all night, but these 2 last completions have been big for the Memphis offense.
And that's the key, just getting first downs. That's their 3rd first down on this drive. They had 3 first downs in the entire first half. When you talk about simple completions, these are just hitch routes, now routes, routes you ran in high school. get the ball in the receiver's hands, give them a one-on-one opportunity to make somebody miss.
Gainwell pushing the pile down near the 6-yard line, dragging the Memphis native Cam Kinley with him. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Kenneth Gainwell, he's a heck of a football player.
I said it earlier, when Kenneth Gainwell is on the field, he is the most talented, most exciting, most electric player on the field.
Remember, in high school, Kenneth Gainwell, 4,700 rush yards as a QB at Yazoo County High School, the Panthers.
Great ball skills, the coaching staff told us, playing that QB position. White, rolling, firing, end zone, touchdown Tigers! It is Kadarian Jones on the score to tie the game.
And the celebration on the rollout, it's a pick play, a rub play, whatever you want to call it.
Cross his body too, rolling left, right-handed quarterback, not easy, but Brady White needed this drive to get a little bit of confidence after a rough start. Now we have a 21-20 game when Memphis couldn't do anything in the first half.
And Mike Norvell gets Brady White back on track, 3 for 3 on that drive, but none bigger than the touchdown pass, bringing his team back. Tight game.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football, brought to you by Wells Fargo. This is a commitment to better banking. This is Wells Fargo.
B.B. King, Aretha Franklin. What did you learn about Elvis Presley that you wanted to share with us, Pat McAfee?
I believe he was a federal agent at some point in his life. Used his popularity and fame to get into the White House to get a badge. The man was a lunatic, but could wiggle the hell out of his hips.
Music history is deep here in Memphis. Soul, pop, rhythm and blues, gospel. I know Pat McAfee loves the crunk.
I will get lit if I have to.
Even if you don't have to, I think you would get lit.
Adam, Memphis looked terrible in the first half offensively. Now they get Brady White a couple completions. Now they're in the lead. You got to feel good if you're a Memphis Tiger.
And Molly McGrath noticed a little bit something down on the sideline that speaks just to that, Pat.
Yeah, that's right. Moments after Mike Norvell told his quarterback, Brady White, to calm down, he leads them on a scoring drive. And the first thing Norvell says to his quarterback, he looks at him and says, "Thank you. Thank you. I told you. Thank you." Pretty cool moment. Quarterback listening to his coach.
We said it. Mike Norvell recruited Brady White at Arizona State, transferred over when Mike Norvell got this job after White had gotten hurt, broke his right foot back in 2016. Missed the rest of that season after the broken foot against UCLA. Missed all of 2017, transferred after that, and was ready to go after. Listen, we've seen Paxton Lynch, Riley Ferguson, NFL QBs that have been on rosters at the next level. That's big shoes to fill, and Brady White's been rock solid in his Memphis tenure. Isaac Ruas working up the middle for about 3.5.
A lot of trust in both of those guys. Norvell to bring him here, and for Brady White, a Southern California or a California kid coming all the way to Memphis, kind of bided his time, and now he's getting a chance to play on a big stage for the Memphis Tigers. And it's paying off for Coach Norvell bringing him over here.
Oh, penalty marker for a false start.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, we were talking about the rushing attack for Navy in this game. Billy Honecker at right tackle, Kendall Wright at left tackle, part of our PlayStation Player Impact Rating scale from 0 to 100 to measure the impact of a player on a play-to-play basis. 2 of the top 5 rated offensive linemen in the American Conference are on this line. Trying to block from Malcolm Perry, who is unable to spin away from Thomas Pickens.
Played that perfectly. Absolutely perfectly, Thomas Pickens on the outside. This triple option, you read the end man on the line, then you take it, then you read the pitch guy. And when the pitch guy makes your life impossible as a quarterback, that's how you stop the triple option. That's what Pickens just did. Now we have another 3rd down. They had a 3-and-out last time. Let's see if the Memphis defense can get Navy off the field.
Coming back the other way, a little counter action with Makekau. Needed the 35-yard line. They're going to mark his knee down just a little bit past. Pickens did a good job of getting to the edge, but it's an 11-yard run for a first down.
Well, they go back to the first play of the game. They just run it the other way. They get outside. Everyone's thinking left. They're going right. Great play call at the perfect time.
Makekau got up after the play and then kind of just went back down to his knee, immediately being checked out. He's run for 101 yards tonight, a career night so far. Gets you to share a Coke while tuning in to number 5 Ohio State, taking on Nebraska and Lincoln Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on ABC. And this man invites you into a world of magic now.
He's had a few too many Cokes.
He came straight off of Beale Street, dancing in Memphis.
I like that shirt. Move the chains, man.
Hey, move the chains, man.
His friends seemed a little bit more apprehensive, I would say. Malcolm Perry late pitch to C.J. Williams, and that's spilled out to the edge by Xavier Collins. Third down coming up, or second down coming up, beg your pardon.
We talked about stopping the option. It's discipline, discipline, discipline. Assignment football. Do your job. Responsibility. That is an excellent job of stopping triple option right there.
You can tell here in the first couple series, Coach Fuller went to work at halftime with his defense. Hey, this is what we need to do. We're getting out this, we're getting out that, leverage. The defense has been much more disciplined, and it's becoming a little bit of a problem for this triple option offense.
And linebacker Austin Hall, 25 there. He kind of went for it. He was aggressive.
More aggressiveness from the Memphis defense. Penetration that time from Wardalis Ducksworth. A loss of 3. They're moving backwards right now, or the mids.
And it's just contagious. When one guy makes a great play on defense, somebody else steps up and makes a great play. The bigger it starts getting, the bigger everything gets. The bigger the crowd noise gets. This place is coming alive. They were dead in the first half offensively. Defensive special teams picked them up. The offense came out with a good drive to start the second half. Third down.
Perry, late pitch once again. Perimeter to C.J. Williams. And Xavier Collins able to catch up with him, shy of the 40. Got 10 yards back. Well, that's going to bring up fourth down as we approach 6 minutes to play in the third.
I wonder if it's move the chains, man, that has really brought the energy to this crowd. And this defense really seems like they're on their cues. They're paying attention to detail a lot more than they did in the first half. Getting off the field once again, which they weren't able to do in the first half. This goes a long way not only for the Memphis defense, but for the Memphis offense, who found a little bit of rhythm last time. Get the ball back, probably with good field position. Returners are stacked back here. Look for maybe a little tricky thing there.
Owen White, they deliver. 2 men back to return. 25-yard line, Travion Samuel. Good job in special teams coverage by Mitchell West. 6-yard return on the punt. Look at our group of 5 Saturday slate. Georgia Tech and Temple in the Jeff Collins Bowl. App State, big win against Mac Brown's North Carolina Tar Heels. Luke Fickell's team goes on the road at Marshall. You see UConn at UCF coming off that loss on the Pitt special. They ran a little Philly at the end of that play against the Knights defense. And then Hawaii at Nevada.
Great pronunciation of Hawaii there. Excited for Cincinnati Marshall. Coach Fickell's team started out hot with us and then got slaughtered by Ohio State. Good team, though, in Cincinnati.
Brady White at the controls. Joseph Dorcius, the defensive lineman, is in as a fullback in an I set. But we get a penalty marker thrown before the play.
Ball start. Offense number 77. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Obena Easy is the left tackle for Memphis. Top 30 offensive tackle out of high school. Born in Nigeria, went to Nashville for high school with Maurice and Jennifer Fitzgerald taking over as his guardians. His parents and 4 siblings still back in Nigeria, hoping that Obena Easy can continue to do the great things he's done as a United States college student. Trying to block for Kenneth Gainwell here. Another penalty marker is thrown. That big Joseph Dorcius is a fullback out there blocking for him too, but we'll check the flag.
Holding. Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Scotty Dill at the right tackle spot That was a little bit of a concern going into the season. They had to replace 3 starters on the offensive line, but they had a lot of experience in the backup spots.
And we mentioned it earlier, the Navy defensive line shifting and stemming, making the assignments change. Is it a 3 down front? Is it a 4 down front? Is it a 5 down front? The play can completely change for the offensive line when they shift and stem like that.
Travion Samuel. Boy, this guy can burn. He's got some speed and some moves. He'll get a lot of that penalty yardage back and make it a much more manageable 2nd and 11 after they were sitting at 1st and a quarter of the field.
Just a massive cutback there. A couple little whoop in honor of Chris Berman being back on ESPN+.
Prime time.
That was a heck of a run.
And Travion Samuel, he's the outside guy. Think Tony Pollard, kind of a wide receiver type that will get handoffs from time to time.
Right back to him this time on the perimeter. But Navy's defense, Jacob Springer waiting there. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 11. Brian Newberry replaced the retired defensive coordinator Dale Pearson, who spent 23 years at the Naval Academy, last 4 as defensive coordinator. It was not an easy thing for Ken Niumatalolo to make the change, but Brian Newberry has changed it up. He's gone with that traditional 4-3 look, has changed up the line of scrimmage looks with that stemming, and he shook up the starting lineup after 1 game. This season, he is not afraid to open up any slot. A lot of folks I talked to today said he is a future NFL defensive coordinator. Brady White, deep shot, got him in! It is caught! Antonio Gibson! Memphis extends the lead on a big play!
Brady White on the last drive had a couple easy balls to get him back into some little confidence and momentum. Threw a touchdown on that. Now facing a 3rd and long, sits back in the pocket and delivers a dime right down the middle of the field.
73 yards. Antonio Gibson, all he does is catch touchdowns. Gets him on the post route. Caught the safeties flat-footed. Excellent throw by Brady White. A runner's ball hits him in stride. They needed that.
Gibson this year, 5 catches, 3 touchdowns, and that is a career long.
Like I said, all he does is catch touchdowns. He's in the inside slot. He runs a post. We got a post and a corner. Quarterback's got the read. Take your choice. He takes the post. Great choice. Touchdown, Memphis. Well, that started with 1st and 25. Memphis is able to get half of it back. That's usually your goal when you've got a long-distance situation. And they're able to convert on the 3rd down conversion for the huge touchdown.
3 touchdowns of 70-plus yards. 75 to open the game, 99 on the kick return touchdown from Rodgers, and then that strike from White to Gibson for 73. And it's an 8-point Memphis lead. Miles Fells trying to return it. Will get hit across the 20-yard line. Well, Saturday, number 5 Ohio State on the road. Justin Fields, Adrian Martinez battling at QB. 7:30 Eastern time on ABC, presented by Wells Fargo, as we get a look at our college football rankings brought to us by Capital One. Week 5 of the top 10.
Yeah, that Ohio State game, they got College Game Day there. That quarterback, Justin Fields, people are telling me who know things, he's the best quarterback in the country.
Really?
Yeah, he's shown up. Nobody knew what was going to happen after Dwayne Haskins leaves, and Justin Fields and that Ohio State right where they left off.
Pat, your team idol, they're playing a doubleheader.
Yeah. 2 grueling contests coming up against top 5 teams. On the push, Malcolm Perry to the edge. He'll take it across the 25. Good gain of 5 on 1st down. Remember, Malcolm Perry, as Molly told us, kind of nursing that right shoulder issue. He took a big hit in that 1st half. After the red-hot start, Memphis's defense starting to lock in.
And that's since the injury. You know, that's since he took that big hit. I'm curious to know how his arm is feeling.
Ruas gets stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. John Tate, big boy from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, with the stop.
Big time 3rd down here for Navy. 50 plays in the first half, 11 here thus far in the second half. Haven't really been able to get moving. This Memphis Tigers defense is what we like to call eating. You get it? Because they're tigers. Tigers.
Well, 3rd and 5. Here comes Perry. Boy, what a cut, but he's just going to be short. Maybe a yard shy of the line to gain. Good job by Dre Thomas, the safety, just to get enough of him to stop him shy of the line to gain. They've already gone for it 3 times on 4th down today. They're 2 of 3.
And this is the same spot of the field where they went for it on 4th down earlier in the first half. And without hesitation, he sends on personnel to go for it again.
Absolutely. If you can't get a half a yard, what can you get?
Toss play. Malloy. 1st down for Navy. Out to the 36-yard line, Taj Malloy with a good block from his fellow slot back, C.J. Williams.
Well, the last time they were stuffed, they went with the quarterback sneak inside. This time, they said, let's go outside. QB's hurt. Nelson Smith is out. They go with Williams outside the slot back. Great play call.
They've had a lot of success outside the hashes, getting that Memphis defense running sideline to sideline. They needed that. The Navy offense needed that 1st down there desperately.
Perry's going to keep again. Go airborne that time. And he's able to pick up positive yardage. About 6 to the 42.
Keeps taking these big hits.
Yeah.
Big hits.
And that was 94, Jojo Dorcius, who we saw playing some fullback. That's just elite effort. Chasing it down from the backside.
Last year in this contest, which was a 1-point game, Malcolm Perry ran the ball 36 times. He's ran it 24 times tonight, a lot with big contact for 88 yards and a couple of scores. When Memphis crashed the line, Chance Warren's going the other way. A career night for Chance Warren, takes it to the Memphis 40-yard line.
This counter stuff continues to work big for Navy. You make them thinking you're all going right, pitch, take it back the other way for Chance Warren.
Ivan Jasper has him off balance. You said it, Pat. Everyone's going left. They come back to the defense's right.
I respect that.
What a play call by Ivan Jasper.
18-yard pickup, the longest run for Chance Warren. Staying in the middle with Ruas, and that's where some of the strength of this Memphis front rests. Only a gain of about a yard as Morris Joseph, junior college transfer, was there for the stop. We're 3 through in Memphis, Tennessee. Conference opener for the Tigers. After a slow start, they've come back to take an 8-point lead on the Mids. Come on back for number 4. This is some strong camera work by Jason Greenberg, Molly McGrath. I stole that photo for the gram. Just hanging out on Beale Street. Have you guys been before?
You guys are doing it for the gram. Look at you.
Have you guys been on Beale Street?
No, heck no.
It's a brand new experience for you guys.
It's similar, right? Broadway in Nashville?
It looked very similar to Nashville with a different music vibe. The blues were banging down there. Beale Street looked like a great time.
You're an adorable bunny. You know that?
Me?
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Malcolm Perry, late pitch to the perimeter for C.J. Williams, trying to race to the sticks. Austin Hall chasing, but that's good enough for a 1st down to the 29-yard line.
Perfectly executed option football, just like Coach Jasper showed us yesterday, Pat.
Gave us the laser pointer. He said you read the head man on the line. If he crashes, you don't give it to the fullback. Then we take it outside, read the pitch guide, and just get a 1st down. Like Novocaine, it always works.
Just give it time. And C.J. Williams did a nice job of staying about 5 yards away from the quarterback so that he can make that pitch.
Oh, little pitch relationship.
Oh, I knew you were going there. Isaac Ruas working ahead from the fullback spot. Picks up about 4. We mentioned Ivan Jasper. Great story by George Schroeder today in USA Today. 2 years ago, Ivan and his wife Donna's son Jarrod went in for what seemingly was a routine heart procedure to correct an arrhythmia. His son ended up on life support for 11 days. Great news, 2 years later, he's 16, he's 6'2", takes medicine to support that heart transplant. Granted, he can't play sports, he's got a nerve issue in his foot, but such a great story, a great update. Our best to Jarrod and the Jasper family.
Amen.
Isaac Ruas got the fake that time. Perry pitched it outside, and T.J. Carter was there to chop down Miles Fells.
That was a little saucy pitch, Asper.
It looked like that ball went over JoJo Dorcius.
Sure did.
Oh, little and one next to
Hot sauce.
no holding. That was incredible.
Big third down here for Perry and the Mids. Down by 8, fourth quarter. Nothing there. Excellent penetration for the Memphis front. O'Brien Goodson right in the thick of things for a loss of 4, and that's a key loss in field goal range.
Yeah, would make it about a 49-yard field goal here. Bijan Nichols missed at the end of the first half. Has a monster leg, but he's a young guy. He's a freshman, so he's currently going through plebe school, which is extra everything for the young freshman to get kind of adapted to the Naval Academy.
He tried from 46 earlier, had the distance just a little wide to the right at the end of the half, kicking the other way for a career-long 49-yarder. Bijan Nichols, true freshman, delivers.
What a ball! Bounce back after a miss on primetime television as a freshman. Your team needs you. They haven't been able to do much. Steps up from 49 yards and knocks it true. What a game here in Memphis.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football is presented by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
Billy J. Murphy Athletic Complex is only through phase 1. We were in Mike Norvell's office the other day. We see the construction. They've invested a lot in basketball and now in football these last few years. 28-23, Tigers have the advantage. Navy with a field goal from Bijan Nichols. J.R. Osborne will kick away. Antonio Gibson back to return. With a short kick here. Gibson trying to switch fields. Trying to get it to the edge. Good space and a good return. Looked like he stepped out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. We'll see where they spot him. Well, here at the Liberty Bowl, there was a military salute in the second quarter. Petty Officer First Class William Lowry was a dedicated sailor and a huge Memphis fan. He and his wife Whitney had just celebrated their son Connor's birth on October the 3rd last year, just 6 weeks before Will's sacrifice of his life. Will's father, Gary, wanted to deliver a first birthday present to Connor to honor the father he's never going to have the chance to know. Several family and friends from the Lowry family are here. And a great number of sailors I know in the Pacific Fleet are actually watching this game tonight. We wanted to share that story. Whitney reached out to some of us, and we wanted to honor that, our respect and admiration to Will Whitney, Connor, Gary, the Lowry family, Will's loved ones. We certainly appreciate you. Memphis goes back to work. And a first down grab for Kenneth Gainwell, and a penalty marker is thrown after the play.
Incredible tribute there to William Lowry, Petty Officer Lowry. Can't thank them enough for their service. Very incredible tribute here in Memphis. But
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 53. That 59 penalty be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Tama Tuatelli with the horse collar penalty after a 13-yard run. Or face mask, beg your pardon. 13-yard run, 15 more yards tacked on. 28-yard play overall.
when I saw the schedule for Thursday Night Football, I was excited we were going to get to call a Navy game because of the respect that we all have for the men, women and men that serve in our armed forces. It's just an incredible thing that they do for America, and that's a very sad situation. We're very excited we could honor her this evening.
Back to the air, Brady White, incomplete. Again, we wanted to share that story. We appreciate Whitney again for reaching out. Second down coming up here for Memphis.
The Memphis special teams tonight have won so much hidden yardage for this Memphis Tigers offense. Even in the first half when they couldn't put things together, the special teams in the return game really held them in this thing. The average drive start for Memphis is their own 44. Navy's their own 27. You do some quick math. That is 17 yards advantage to the Memphis team in the special teams unit with Coach Lembo. Gotta take advantage of it though, Adam.
Pete Lembo coming over from Rice as the new special teams coordinator this year, former Ball State head coach.
Chirp, chirp.
Brady White buying time, launching incomplete to the end zone. Closest man there was Kadarian Jones, who's had some productive plays tonight. Cam Kinley, the Memphis native, was in coverage.
Crowd wants a pass interference. I think the only thing that could have caught that is Tom the Tigers.
Yeah, that's an uncatchable ball, to say the least.
Smart throw, though.
Looks like
Hey, listen, save yourself. All right, I like the effort. I like you standing in.
Face.
Protect yourself. All right.
I would do the same thing.
Well, they tell you when you throw it away as a quarterback, throw it into the second row. He almost got it there. Third down.
Another toss play. White fires. It is complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Devontae Coxie.
Brady White babysat Coach Norvell's daughter when he was at Arizona State. And you can see in the second half, he has the utmost trust and respect in Brady White. Struggled the entire first half. Now they're just going to the sky with Brady White, and it's paying off for them with another incredible pass here.
And on the replays, breaking in, watch, it's kind of a back shoulder. I'm going to stop you in the hole, turn with the ball receiver, and get north and south at that point. Well done by Coxie. Good accurate throw.
That's his guy.
Another quick strike. Tom the Tiger-esque. They go 59 yards in 4 plays. Where do they find those hidden yards, Pat McAfee?
Special teams, but your offense has got to take advantage of it. Second half is a whole new ball game for this Memphis team. Up 12 in the third or fourth.
Sunrise was started in 1991 by the Bond family. Myself and a group of investors purchased Sunrise about May of 2014.
We sat down with Triumph, put together our game plan. They were as creative as I think we were, and they've been a partner ever since. Triumph continued to show an interest. The day-to-day communication that we have eliminates surprises. I'm Jim Selberg.
I'm Charles Thomas.
And this is our Triumph.
Some see an obstacle. But when you have best-in-class all-weather capability, it's just another opportunity. Jeep Cherokee. Hurry in to Jeep Adventure Days for a great deal.
Right now, get $6,500 total cash allowance on select 2019 Jeep Cherokee models in dealer stock.
Power is the biggest touchscreen a truck's ever seen. One that can see 360 degrees. But when you surround it with 19 speakers, back seats that do front seat things, and end up Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year, that's the power to innovate. Come to Ram Power Days for great deals on the most powerful lineup of pickups.
Now get an average $13,100 in total values on the 2019 Ram 1500 Classic.
Memphis' defense is stepping up in the second half, Pat.
Yeah, Coach Fuller really went to work at halftime. Ain't that right, man?
Listen, they're changing up the looks for Malcolm Perry. They're being more attacking on the edge. They're setting the edge, and they're making that pitch decision happen quicker. And this defense has answered. You talk about halftime adjustments. Yes, I think it's that. I also think it's about effort and attitude. And then I also wonder, is Malcolm Perry healthy? Those are the questions we're going to get answered here in the fourth quarter.
There's Coach Fuller right there. Came over from Marshall.
And I thought one of the best things that we heard yesterday from Coach Fuller, he took Auburn transfer cornerback John Broussard, who's not playing tonight, said, hey, I need you to be Malcolm Perry. I need you to give us a look all week in practice. And I would say that the second half, these guys look like they got a good look all week.
Let's go down to the field and check in with Molly for more.
Well, Adam, Matt was wondering how Malcolm Perry was feeling after getting banged up earlier in the game. His jersey is very dirty, but he was full of energy on the sideline and very anxious to get back on the field. He was really active, motivating teammates and saying, we need to strike back. Let's go win this. So he looks healthy, Matt.
Thanks for that answer, Molly. Malcolm Perry retaking the field. Similar situation to what we saw a year ago. His mom, Bonnie, is in attendance tonight. As Molly told us at the top, drives 12 hours often to get to Malcolm's games. His dad, also named Malcolm, in attendance tonight. A little bit of a scare earlier with that shoulder issue, but Perry trying to stay in, down by a dozen. Trying to throw over the top into traffic. Dangerous throw. Incomplete. Had a couple of receivers out there, but Dre Thomas, the safety, ended up getting in the way of it.
Well, they go with the fake dive, fake option. We're going to take a shot down the middle. I just really don't see the same velocity on Malcolm Perry's throws. Sometimes as a quarterback, someone will say, hey, how are you? Like, I'm good, I'm good. It's almost like mind over matter. But when you look at him throw tonight in the second half, it just doesn't look the same as it did in the first.
He goes shorter this time to Ryan Mitchell, taken down at the 30-yard line, 31. Malcolm Perry, you saw how hot he was to start this game tonight. Had a couple of deep shots. Second half has not been the same story.
Four for 6 in the first half, just 1 for 3 here. But in the first half, he was dropping balls in the bucket. A little bit of a sore shoulder. He's been called off the field a couple times with injury. See if he can get back to that first half precision. Navy's going to need him.
He's going to keep here and get hit shy of the line to gain. John Tate undercut him. And right now down by 12, 10.5 to go. They've been aggressive on fourth down all night. Looks like the offense is staying out there. Gone 3 of 4 on fourth down in this game.
This is a gutsy call. And if you thought it was loud on third down, just wait till you hear this one.
Come alive, Liberty Bowl.
Clock winding, flag thrown.
Delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty.
That is a huge mistake by a very disciplined team. All that time came off the game clock. And then the play clock ran all the way down. They go from 4th and 2 to 4th and 7.
How does that happen, Matt Hassel?
Well, they're playing music here while they're in the huddle. And it's hard for the guys to hear the quarterback on the play call when they're playing that music. We mentioned the crowd coming alive.
This is a prideful group in Memphis.
So all that time comes off about almost a minute with the game clock being Memphis's friend right now. Navy down 12 as they use a timeout. Ken Niumatalolo not pleased.
After the delay of game, Navy opting to punt now from their own 28. Coach Lembo, Coach Norvell, and the Memphis Tigers take a lot of pride in special teams. They said they're going to have some tricky returns. They've already taken one to the house kickoff return-wise. Now they have stacked returners. You got Travion Samuel right behind Calvin Austin. Look for them to do something special and take advantage more field position like they have been the rest of the night.
Owen White delivers the ball. From the 20 at Samuel. Penalty marker is thrown. Boy, Samuel got out of the pack. How did he do that? That was going to be a 0-yard return. He turns it into 15, but we got to check 2 flags. One back inside the 20 and one at the 35 from the far side.
And that was a great punt.
Great punt, but what happens when you have 2 returners? One sprints left, one sprints right. The coverage team can kind of get distracted. And they didn't there. I mean, that was incredible coverage. Travion Samuel just made a heck of a play, but it feels like this one might be getting brought back.
So a 52-yard punt for Owen White.
Great ball. Good direction, too. Hang.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the receiving team. Holding, receiving team, number 36, and penalties decline. Illegal block in the back, number 18 of the receiving team. Go half the distance to the goal, first down.
So hard to set up a block on a return because you're sprinting down the field, especially with a 52-yard punt. You're running at full speed with other incredible athletes, and once somebody gets just a little step on you and stacks you, as soon as you put your hand on the back, bang, can't do it. Can eliminate anything that your spark plug of a returner, Travion Samuel, does because of that. Incredible stack by number 15 right there on the coverage team. You love that as a punter.
That was Rodgers who had the kick return touchdown earlier tonight. With the block in the back penalty, setting Memphis back to their own 10. On first down, patient running from Gainwell. Picks up about 4 on the play. Second down.
Yeah, Memphis is going with their bigger personnel. 2 backs, 2 tight ends. You'll hear people call that 22 personnel. First number meaning how many backs, second number meaning how many tight ends.
We got an injured mid in Dave Tolentino, redshirt senior from Jersey City, New Jersey. Missed last year's game against Memphis with an injury. He's down right now.
Well, Brady White had a miserable first half, just 4 completions for 29 yards, but comes back and has a nice second half. Norvell gets him going with some easy completions, and then the post, the inside post on the scissors combination, and then the back shoulder on the basic cross. A nice little runner's ball for his guy, DeMonte Coxie. They got the end zone celebration going, but I would expect a lot of handoffs here. If they could just hand the ball off the rest of the night to get out of here, I bet you they would do it.
Against Houston, they went 19 straight runs last year. 22 personnel. It's ground and pound. We're bigger than Navy. We're stronger than Navy. Let's see if we can run this out here with 8:40 left in the fourth quarter.
And the clock is running. It was an injury timeout, so the clock resumes on the referee's signal, so they're milking all the time they can on that game clock. Kenneth Gainwell moves his way to the 16-yard line. We mentioned that this is a very similar situation for Navy from a year ago. A lot of people say triple option team, running team, you're not built to come back. They came back from down last year. They were down 12 points in the fourth quarter. However, clock is huge right now as we approach 8 minutes to play.
And if Navy gets this ball back, assistant coach Billy Ray Stutzman, with the run and shoot background, he's going to earn his salary tonight.
Yeah.
They're going to need to find ways to complete some passes down the field.
And this is a big third down for Navy's defense right now to stay in the game. Quick throw outside, and a first down across the 20 for Gibson. Picked up 9 on third down and 4.
And it's a game of inches. Diego Figo comes on the blitz off the edge, inches away from that.
Massive.
Brady White's release was quick enough. The ball actually goes under the arm of Figo. It's like turning a double play if you're playing shortstop.
Hey, sometimes you got to Figo underneath the arm to pick up a big first down in the fourth quarter.
It's a good check mark in the book for Pat right there.
Pat, you mentioned 22 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 backs. Here it is again.
And Dorsey is, wow, what a block he was there to throw. They dip it outside for Gibson. Beg your pardon, Calvin Austin makes the catch. 84, not 14. And he muscles his way to the 31-yard line. Gibson continuing a career night, and JoJo Dorcius with a big blitz pickup block on that play.
They said they were going to have him at fullback whenever they're doing this 22 personnel. They love this look against the Navy defense, they said. 22 personnel obviously means
2 backs, 2 tight ends, but in this case, we're really calling their outside linebacker defensive end type guy a running back. I don't know if that even counts. That's a big running back.
Yeah, that's on me. Beg your pardon. The numbers got me on that one, as it's been getting me all night. By the way, that's JoJo Dorcius' second career catch, but by far his best one. He had a 1-yard grab last year A huge catch and run that time. In short yardage, they like to use him on the offensive end as a fullback. This guy's 260 pounds. He's listed at 6 feet. They told us he's closer to like 5'10", maybe 5'9". This guy's a bowling ball.
And he gives great effort on defense. To see him closing out a game on offense, it's impressive.
Gainwell trying to move the chains on 3rd and short, and does. Boy, Memphis prides itself on running the ball. They had their most prolific offensive season a year ago. Over 7,000 yards. More than 4,000 of those yards were on the ground. Mike Norvell has prided himself on being able to control the clock.
And Kenneth is #1 in the conference. It started out hot, got very cold. Now they got this 4-minute offense in play with this 22 personnel, just trying to wind the clock down and grind this game out, up 12, which is going to be interesting to a lot of people here late.
Right back to the ground. This time Watkins. Not much there. Now, with still 2 timeouts remaining, Ken Niumatalolo is going to use one. It's been a tight one most of the night tonight. Memphis trying to salt away the clock. Next week, Thursday Night Football on ESPN heads to North Carolina. In fact, the next 2 weeks will be down in North Carolina. Temple on the road at East Carolina. Had the big win against Maryland a couple of weeks ago. Suffered a loss against Buffalo, but right back into conference play at ECU. And then Syracuse's offense going down to Raleigh to take on NC State.
I don't know much about much, but I know when we call games, they are electric.
And close games, too.
So far, margins of victory 10 in our first one, 6 in our second. We had the dramatic 7-point game last week in the final seconds. A 12-point game here, 4th quarter. Watkins again on the push. Good job by the Navy defense to get the stop at the 39, led by Jarius Warren. Ken Niumatalolo has 1 more timeout left. He's going to hold on to it for now as we hit 5 minutes to go.
Another massive 3rd down for this Navy defense. And on the flip side, a massive 3rd down for the Memphis offense. I mean, if they can get off the field here, Malcolm Perry can still score, and they're still within distance here. Enough time on the clock to make this something really special at the end.
Can they make the stop? Memphis was 0 for 4 on 3rd down to start the night. They have converted each of their last 4 3rd down scenarios. This time a 3rd and long. Blitz off the corner, and White throws to the vacated spot to Coxie. Excellent job by Kevin Brennan, who made his first career start last week. Key open field tackle to bring up 4th down. And with 4:25 left, there goes the final Navy timeout in a 2-score game.
And this is really heads-up play by Brady White. I don't even know if it was a pass. It might have been a run. Corner blitz off the edge. Sight adjustment. Wide receiver turn and give your numbers to the quarterback. Quarterback catch the ball and get it to him. You know, Mike Norvell said that Brady White's one of the smartest players he's ever coached. And he was raving about him intellectually. That was a great recognition, good read, good throw.
And Brady and Coxie are very much on the same page there. They're good friends off the field. They've kind of made each other better. You have to be on the same page whenever you make a check like that. But an incredible open field tackle by Brennan.
And at the end of all of that, even though Memphis doesn't get the first down there, they take almost 5 minutes off the clock. That offense did their job on that series.
Let the defense get a puff over there of some oxygen. Let them get some air. Now 4:25, probably a punt, and Malcolm Perry is back on the field.
And that's what I ask you gentlemen now. How does Navy get back in this game? It seems like they're going to need one of their biggest plays of the night to at least get back into it. It's a 2-score game.
Well, Malcolm Perry had some of the best quarterback play that I've ever seen in the first half. Doing it as a runner and as a thrower. Took the big hit, did not look the same after that. Doesn't look like he's had the same velocity. But I was watching him in pregame. You know, I knew we were going to see a lot of triple option. Talked about this run and shoot style of passing game that they install as a change-up, sprinkle it in. It was looking good in pregame, but that's pregame. This is 4th quarter, 4 minutes to go. You need 2 scores. You're banged up. It's been a tough night. The ball will be in your hand shortly.
Williams.
Got the thing off quick.
Garrett Wynn could use some good field position. They'll get it out to about the 30-yard line. 16-yard return on the 40-yard kick. No more timeouts for Navy. You see what the Memphis defense has done in the second half against this Navy offense 2 years ago when Memphis won in this building by 3 points. That was the game that Austin Hall sealed it with the interception. Navy had 5 turnovers that night, and Memphis held Navy to about 100 yards below their rushing average. They've held Navy, granted, toughest opponent Navy's played so far this year, to about 85 yards under their rushing average in the early part of the season.
Got to give defensive coordinator Adam Fuller a lot of credit for the adjustments. Got a trick play.
Oh! On the move, there goes Williams. And he takes it to the 40-yard line. Clock continues to move after the 9-yard gain.
C.J. Williams is looking for the halfback pass here. You go sweep right. Malcolm Perry boots out left. Talk about assignment football, discipline. That's how you stay home.
It's been a tale of two halves for them, for this Memphis
really
defense. For both teams, it's been a tale of two halves here. Just complete flip side at halftime.
Now Perry out of the gun. Boy, a back foot throw. And it is complete for a first down. Excellent job to get that out to Miles Fells. That's his 4th career catch. A fresh set of downs. Under pressure, kind of off the back foot.
Just kind of had to make something happen. You don't want to take the short gain in a situation like that, but to me it looks like his arm's healthy. That was a nice little throw to Olsen out there.
But now all of a sudden, Olsen's in the game. Boy, this is the 3rd time that Malcolm Perry has had to exit. And Perry Olsen gets greeted very rudely. Pressure from Morris Joseph. First career sack for the junior college transfer.
Sat in there, was looking, and that is just a bull rush with speed.
That's the old Reggie White.
Olsen under pressure, sideline throw. It was grabbed by a Memphis defender, but it's ruled incomplete. Joey Bryant out on the sideline, the 6th-year senior, former Arizona State Sun Devil.
So Malcolm Perry makes that pass, basically on his back foot, all arm, had a little pressure in his face, and now Perry Olsen's in here, and they've gone backwards.
Thomas Pickens got a shot on Olsen, and now it's 3rd down and a must-have 17 for Navy.
Well, it's 3rd and 17, Adam, but I think this is 2-down territory. You got to try to get half of it back at least.
Olsen will keep it, and he's going to get run down by Goodson. Clock continues to move. It's 4th down.
Thought he had the pitch open there late, but that's what happens when you're a freshman quarterback. You're not as comfortable with that decision. We thought he could have got it out to the running back there late. He got tackled. Now they have to settle for a 4th and 15 with the game on the line here. 2:30 left in the 4th quarter. The story has been 100% Malcolm Perry getting banged up, Perry Olsen having to come in 2 different halves of football for both teams. It's been a remarkable night here in Memphis.
Gotta have it. Deep ball. Intercepted. It is picked off by Sanchez Blake. And just like 2 years ago in this building, an interception may seal it for the Memphis Tigers. The We Want Bama side to cap it off.
I'll tell you what, he just kind of threw up a prayer there knowing they had to get something. It was almost like a punt there for Sanchez Blake. Goes up and makes a play. Obviously, his team is better off if you bat it down, but who cares? No timeouts for Navy, 2:06 left. This one's just about in the books. I have no idea how the people in the desert could have known what was going to happen at halftime, but once again, they do it again.
First career interception for Sanchez Blake out of Olive Branch, Mississippi. You're going to try to burn a few seconds here, and White will take the knee. Trying to get it inside of 2 minutes. Again, you take 2 more knees, depending on the clock sync, you're essentially good. By the way, the sign itself is fantastic. The shirtless guy with the sign perfect cap to the night here at a weird night in Memphis, Tennessee. And the Tigers don't have Bama on the schedule. They do have a win against an SEC team. Ole Miss will get Bama on Saturday. Non-conference against Louisiana Monroe. By the way, Memphis is an FPI favorite, a metric favorite in every game the rest of the season. Their toughest game as of right now, metrically, is that SMU game. And the Mustangs are off to an outstanding start with Shane Buechele at QB.
You said they don't get Bama. What about a bowl game?
Okay.
Hey, power six. Power six. What a night here in Memphis for the Memphis Tigers. Brady White in the first half. When I say this, what a way to come around. And Navy was undefeated coming in as well. Hard fought early.
They got that Air Force game next. Obviously, they'll have a couple of days till Saturday, then a week. Last year, the Mids with a 35-7 loss at the hands of Troy Calhoun's Air Force Falcons. They'll get Army, obviously, at the end of the year. The Commander-in-Chief's trophy has belonged to Army the last 2 seasons. Air Force before that. Navy hasn't had it in their hands since 2015.
Hey guys, we haven't done a lot of games, but I was impressed with both these coaching staffs. You know, Navy was great for us, and Coach Norvell, he's lost 15 assistants in the last 2 years, and to have the success that he continues to have, nobody's lost as many assistant coaches except for Nick Saban. What a night, what a game, what a week.
And once again, 3 out of 4 years here, Coach Norvell and the Memphis Tigers are undefeated. I mean, it's just, he built a great program here in Memphis. They treated us very well. And this Navy team, it's just been, it was that first half that came out gunning. They still got a lot on the line. Incredible humans. We're lucky to be here. Thank you all for watching.
35-23 the final. For Matt, Pat, Molly, the great women and men of our crew, so long from Memphis. Kenny and Michael, my guys, have SportsCenter next.